Okay, so I think we are recording. So hi guys. So today I'll be discussing this Leet Code daily challenge. Uh, so the problem is pretty simple. The statement of the problem is pretty simple. You are given an array which is of even length. So basically, you need to find out whether you are able to divide the array into exactly n by 2 pairs, such that sums every pair sum is divisible by k. So now if you think, so basically I don't think there is any complex English or anything. So it's pretty simple, straightforward statement. Now let's think about the problem. So basically let's see a first example which is given. So this is an array from 1 to 10 numbers, and we are given k as 5. Now pairs are 1 9. Why have we choose 1 and 9? Because if we sum this up, it will be 10, and 10 is divisible by k, right? So then 2 8 3 7 4 6 5 10, the property is same for all of these pairs. Now the thing is, like, we need to come up with an efficient solution, because if you see the number of n, it is 10 to the power 5. So if we try, let's say for 1, if we try finding another pair by brute forcing, basically we go to every other j which is possible, and we try finding a suitable j for this I, it will not be efficient. Basically it will be kind of an n square, which we don't want. So how do we come up with an optimization or a smart way to deal with this problem? So if you see, even k is pretty large, 10 to the power 5. Also, one thing to notice is that the array elements can be negative also, right? So that's the range of the elements in the array. Now just let me go to this screen. So basically you're given an array. So let's say 1 2 3 4, and let's say k is equal to 5, right? So it's pretty simple. We'll just pair up the values which sum is giving us 5. So this is giving us a sum 5. So we just do this. Similarly, we take 2 3. So it's possible, so we return true. Okay, so the problem is pretty simple, right? But how do we write a solution for this? How do we think for a algorithm to actually write our solution? So let's do some observation. So we know that if we are summing up any two values, let's say in the array, which is a1 and some value an for an example. So a1 plus an, right? This value, if this value is divisible by k, right, then this, if I do mod k, this value should be 0, right? Now the thing is, okay, this is one thing to notice, right? And this sum value, right? This sum value can be actually at max 2 into 10 to the power 9, right? And this sum can be negative as well. Now if you try to just observe one thing, let's say we have numbers greater than k, right? So let's say we had numbers like k plus 1, k plus 2, right? And we had even numbers smaller than k as well, right? So can I say let's say here, if this number needs at least, like, this number needs some value k from any other j, so that if I sum it up, so 0 plus k will be divisible by k. For this one, this will be k minus 1, right? For this 2, this will be k minus 2, right? Now, the thing is for this k plus 1, right? If I have to find a pair for this k plus 1, what will that pair be, right? So I'll look for something like, which gives me 2k, 2 times k. So this is just in very naive way we can think of something. So we need to give it like a 2k value, which will be 2k minus k plus 1, that is k minus 1, like we'll try to do. So like I thought for a pretty pretty amount of time, and if you try thinking greedily, it is not going to work. So like if you're trying to for 0 you give k, and for k plus 1 you try searching for. Also implementation wise, that approach was not getting a proper shape, so that thought was discarded. Now, so what do we do actually to uh, build our solution? So another thing is that, what if I have an array, so a1, a2, a3, a4, like this. I have all the array. Let's take modulo of everything with k. Okay, so I do a1 modulo k. Similarly, I do for every other element modulo k. So how is this going to help me, right? So now I know that for sure every index will have value from 0 to k minus 1, right? So let's say this is 0, somewhere I have 1, somewhere I have 5, somewhere I have k minus 1, somewhere I have k minus 2. Okay, after doing this operation. Now for 0, what are the values that you will select? This 0 will only pair up with, sorry, one second, this 0 will only pair up with, this 1 will pair up with only k minus 1, right? So that the sum is k. Even yes, okay, we are not talking about 0 right now, right? So for 0, it's okay, just leave it for now. For 1, we know that we'll only pair it up with k minus 1. For k minus 2, we'll try to look for a 2, right? And how do we decide that these are all pairable values? So basically, the question implementation wise is very simpler. You just need to store a count of every remainder which is possible, every modulo which is possible here, right? So if we store a count of this, and we kind of check whether the count of this I and the count of k minus I is equal, right? If it's equal, then we are able to say, right, we are able to pick these pairs, because for 1 there is k minus 1 only which it will go with. So that's how we can think in that direction. Now what about 0? So for 0 is going to be pair up with only 0, right? Because for 0 there is no other remainder, right? 0 is itself like a number which is divisible by k. So we'll not be putting up with other numbers which are not divisible by k. Basically the numbers which are giving some remainder, some positive remainders. So we'll not put it up with some those kind of numbers. So we can only put it up 0, but we have to make this also a pair. So we'll only put it up with other zeros. So this value should be even, right? This count of 0 should be even. Now only this much, and we can literally write the code for this. So I'll write the code as well. So let me just because there is one or two considerations that we need to keep in mind. So let's just have a map, and we can have we can just have, and so let's have n as array dot size, and what can we do here? Now remember, the array elements can be negative also, right? And when there is negative elements, I want to store count of, I want to do something like this: array of I mod k, right? I want to do something like this, so that I have count of every possible remainders, right? Now if there is a negative number, and if I do a modulo, then that remainder, that will give me a negative number. I don't want that to happen, so we need to some sort of modular arithmetic to make it a non-negative number. So for that we can do array I plus k, and then we'll do modulo k, right? So basically, if there is a number which is negative, like -3, then and the number we are dividing it with is 7, so -3 plus 7, it will become 4, and then we do that mod. Now the problem here is that we'll need to take one more mod, because 1 second. So I did this plus k. So I took that, first I took the modulo. Now this modulo can be negative, so but this negative number cannot be lesser than -k minus 1. So then we added a plus k. Now the thing is, what if this value is 0, right? So if this value is 0, then we'll be adding k, and then if we do a modulo k, basically if we don't do a modulo k, then that will give me k, right? So basically, if I say, let's say I'm adding a plus k, so basically the modulo value should be in range 0 to k minus 1. 0 to k minus 1, right? Here what happens, if there is a number which is divisible by k, right? So this value will be 0, and we'll be adding plus k, and if we don't do this part, so like if I remove this will be k, but we don't want that, so we'll put a mod k mode. Okay, now we have the count, we have everything now. So first thing what I can do is I can set a flag, and this flag will be mp of 0. mp of 0 equals, sorry, I need this count to be actually even, so let's do this, and then I go for every I. We don't need to go, so these are the remainder that I need to traverse, and this should be actually, so what I can do, flag and equals mp of I should be equal to as we discussed, k minus I, right? So for 1 it should be, let's say if k is 5, so 4, right? And then we return flag. So just let's see if we have written everything properly. So here array, so I don't need to do this now, right? I've already made my array. Array is already updated here, so that is fine. This should be even, otherwise not possible, and that's how I think this should work. So this was pretty cool to come up with, and there we go. So let me know, like, if you guys were able to think about this. I have a similar problem. I don't know whether it was just a stroke of luck. So today in Codeforces, I got a similar problem, but of course Codeforces similar problem is not exactly similar. So I can ping that question as well in the description, and maybe you guys can try that out. Next time we'll take a look at that problem. Okay, bye guys.